Anyways, hi everybody, how are you today? Good. My name is Lise. I am part of the community safety personnel, which is something that Chief Pedersen way back 10 years ago decided that officers didn't have to do certain jobs within the service. And so he civilianized a bunch of positions. My portfolio is a dual portfolio. I am the seniors liaison, but I'm also a Crime Stoppers coordinator. Today I'm here in the role of the seniors liaison, or I wouldn't be wearing a uniform, I'd be wearing a Crime Stoppers shirt, right? So it's very important to know, and I will speak a little bit about Crime Stoppers at the end, just a little FYI so you guys know a little bit about it. Frauds and scams. Do you guys get a lot of phone calls? Yeah. So it's really, really important because knowledge is power. The more you understand what these scammers are going to do, how they may approach you, what they might say or get your attention, the better you'll be able to protect yourself. So today, that's my goal. It will take more than 20 minutes though, John, I hate to tell you. Who is vulnerable? Everyone is. We all, and I'm part of your age, I mean, I'm the same age as a lot of you, are in that same age category. We all grew up that we believed our neighbors. We trusted that when someone called us on the phone, they were not lying to us. We anticipated that we could trust because we were a trusting generation. I mean, I remember we didn't lock the back door. I mean, we just didn't do that. It was open to family members or friends who wanted to come in. Boy, life has changed because I certainly wouldn't do that now. And I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere. I still lock everything. It drives my husband crazy. But unfortunately, scammers are out there. It's a multi-million-dollar operation. Think along the lines of organized crime or the mafia, because it is never going to go away, but we need to learn how to protect ourselves about it. Where does it start? Usually a phone call, an email, it could be a letter, it could be an invitation on social media to connect, anything like that to just get you talking to them. Because once they can get you talking to them, they put on the smooch. They start being smooth and trying to convince you to give them stuff. And we'll talk about that. But what harm is there in making a new friend today? Nobody has an answer for me? It's pretty scary, right? Because you don't know what you're getting involved in. We call these dating sites or friend requests, but they're also known as a romance scam. Even though it may be just a friend, it's still considered a romance scam because they're trying to romanticize things for you so that you will be willing to give them whatever it is they're asking for. Scammers will express a desire to be your friend, or more, of course, and they are usually in another country for work. They generally have a home in our region, and they'll try to convince you that you should believe them, that you should trust in them. Excuse me. How do you know who you are speaking to? You don't. They will express their love for you. They will tell you how beautiful you are, how charming you are, what a handsome dude you are, stuff like that. They will convince you that you should believe them. Some of the ways that you can connect and see who this person is by having a Zoom chat, a face-to-face chat. You can do that through Zoom, you can do that through Teams, you can do it through Facebook. We chat with my sister-in-law all the time through Facebook. It doesn't cost anything, it's great. Or you can have a telephone conversation. You know, having a conversation will sometimes reassure you. However, how do you know if they're telling the truth or not? Excuse me. They will often tell you that they cannot get to a phone due to their work location, their isolation. They'll say their broadband is not wide enough to do a Zoom. I want to remind you that if they're communicating with you through an app, through Messenger, through text, through email, they have access to the internet. So there's no reason that they can't have a conversation or a Zoom with you. Very, very important to remember. They really don't want you to know who they are. They don't want you to have any indication. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat today. And I can say that I'm French. They don't want you, because they know that if you find out who they are, where they really are, you're going to realize that it's likely a scam, and you're not going to believe them. So they're going to try to romanticize things. Of course, they will suddenly need money for an accident, a medical emergency, or to get their money out of the country. The amounts will start small, but they will grow from there. They will have many, many scenarios. And of course, you're likely to be catfished. Now, a lot of people say, what is catfished? Let me explain catfishing to you. So catfishing is when a scammer goes onto the internet, maybe access someone's Facebook page, one that is unsecured, that is public, and take all their pictures. And then they're going to send you a picture now and then of them with their family, with their kids, doing activities, so that you believe that this person whose picture you're receiving is them. So for a gentleman, likely it will be a female, a really pretty female. And for the ladies, it will be a very debonair young man or older man. Definitely someone who's going to make you go, very interesting. They're catfishing you, because chances are the guy that you're talking to is a woman, and the woman that you're talking to is a guy. You don't know who it is you're speaking to. So it's very, very important to remember that catfishing is something that scammers do all the time. Okay? I had one woman that I was talking to, I went to visit her. This person had convinced her that he was a 65-year-old male, handsome gentleman, gray hair, beard, mustache, very well maintained. She had all these pictures of him that she'd received over the months. For 3 months, she'd been communicating with this person. And then one day, he finally agreed to a Zoom face-to-face. When they did the Zoom face-to-face, he was in a very, very dark room. And she kind of thought that was odd. And he had a really strong accent, which made her think, well, gee, the guy that I talked to, if he had an accent, would be like a brogue or something, English accent, not some foreigner. So she kept talking to him, but at one point he bent forward in the video, and she noticed the color of his skin was very different from the pictures that she'd received. So that kind of triggered her to, there's something wrong with this. So she went to get a nurse. She lives in a retirement home. She went to get a nurse who came in to see this, and he got mad at her. He got really, really mad at her for telling anyone. Excuse me. For 3 months, he'd never asked for money. He was getting ready. So the nurse came in and blocked all access, right? So that this gentleman couldn't continue communicating with her. But the woman, after the nurse left, felt very, very guilty, because she thought, that good-looking dude in the pictures, he's looking for me. So she unblocked the man. As soon as she unblocked him, he asked for $59,000. She blocked him again. The next day, I was visiting, so I went in to visit her, and we removed all apps that they were communicating on, made sure that he was completely deleted, his profiles were all deleted, and because she kept referring to the gentleman in the pictures and going, he's so handsome, maybe he's for real, maybe he really, and we kept telling her, like, he doesn't know you exist. He doesn't know who you are. He's probably happily married for the last 50 years. Like, you can't communicate with this person. You're never going to meet this guy. So she finally allowed us to delete all the pictures. And I think that helped her. She was going to be going to visit family. We encouraged her to suggest to her kids that maybe she should be moving to the same province as them, just so that she'd be closer and not be so alone and isolated. But for 3 months, that woman had, like, when I went to visit her, she was like, last night was the first time that I slept all night, because she kept waiting for his phone calls or his messages. She says, the first time I made my bed in 3 months. because I couldn't be bothered. I was always in a hurry to listen to his messages. And she says, and today I'm going to the dining room and enjoy dinner with my friends. She was going to become social again. And that's what's really, really important, right? Socializing, such as the group that you guys belong to here, is very important to help you not be so isolated. Is that a cell phone?
Yeah.
It's okay, no big deal. Mine could go off anytime, and it happens. So yeah, you have to be cautious and aware. The grandparent scam. This was really, really scary because you guys have all heard in the media about people losing thousands and thousands of dollars to these scammers. They will make you believe that they're your grandchild. They will make you believe that they are lawyers for your grandchild. They will use artificial intelligence to make it sound like it. And they're going to call and say, do you know who this is? And you're going to say, oh, is this Johnny? And you've given them a name. And that's where, once they have a name, they are running with it. I don't think you need to learn about the grandparent scam. What I think you need to learn about is our judicial system. Because if you understand our judicial system, you will then understand that this can't happen. First of all, do you guys watch American TV? Yeah, everybody does. If you watch TV, you watch American television. If you watch cop shows on TV, you're watching American systems. In the States, they have bail bonds. They have cash for bail. Guess what? Not here. The cash for bail in Ontario is very, very rare. It will happen, don't get me wrong, but it is rare. However, if someone is asking for cash for bail, the person who is arrested has a very, very long record and likely does not live in our jurisdiction. First of all, just laying it out there. And the charges are very, very serious. Attempted homicide, trying to blow up something, stuff like that. Secondly, they will call and say they're calling from the Sudbury Bail Bonds Office. We don't have a Sudbury Bail Bonds Office. There's no such thing. We don't have bail bonds. Simple, easy, right? Not going to happen. Well, my lawyer's going to come and get money from you to pay for these legal fees. Yeah, no, lawyers don't do that. Lawyers will not come to your house to get money for their fees or for bail, because there is no such thing as money for bail, right? If you are going to bail someone out, you must attend the courthouse. You must present yourself to the assistant crown attorney in bail court. Then they will decide if you are acceptable as a surety or not. If you are acceptable as a surety, then you have to be accepted by the justice of the peace to be the surety for this person. And you must be present to sign the documents. That's it, that's all. But the most important thing is you have to go to the courthouse. It's not done any other way. They do not accept gift cards. They do not accept Bitcoin. They do not accept e-transfers, just putting it out there. They don't accept any prepaid cards either, just in case. Artificial intelligence is making it very, very difficult. What I am suggesting to anyone and everyone in the city of Sudbury who will hear me is set up a family password. With a family password, if there is ever an emergency, you can say, what's the password? And if they don't know it, you say, oh, well, too bad, call your mom and hang up the phone. Because if they don't know the password, if they've not absorbed the fact that this is the only way you're going to help them, then a family member can call somebody else. Grandma and grandpa are not helping out, period. So again, no lawyer showing up, no cash for bail. Do we got that straight? None of you are going to be scammed on the grandparent scam, right? Even when your grandchild calls you crying on the phone saying that they were involved in an accident where they've hit someone, that person was pregnant, she's lost her baby. And now they are being held for vehicular manslaughter. You're going to say, what's the family password? And if they don't know what it is, hang up the phone. Okay? Everybody's got that? Excellent. A new grandparent scam that's risen on the horizon is your child or your grandchild calling you and saying that they dropped their phone and it's broken. Either they dropped it in the toilet, or somebody ran over it when they dropped it on the street, something like that. Some really nice passerby has lent them their phone so that they can call you, because you're the only phone number they can remember by heart. Imagine that. And of course, they're going to sound like your child or your grandchild. Again, that's because of artificial intelligence. It makes it really difficult. My sister-in-law received this phone call, and she was convinced it was her son-in-law. And he was like, my wife won't know where I am, I'm out of town, I have to be able to reach her. Can you please e-transfer money to this person's email address? Not his, someone else's email address. And they're gonna help me get a new phone. So I never talked to her about the family password, but she was smart. She said, where do I go fishing? The guy hung up right away. Because they had no idea, right? The family does, but this dude did not know. But the things that made her a little curious was, first of all, they were not married yet. They were getting married 2 months later. He might have referred to himself as her son-in-law. Never said his name, and never mentioned the name of his wife. He kept referring to her as his wife. And his name is Sean, whenever Sean talks about Julie, he speaks to her by her name. And he never, in this phone call, her name was never mentioned, nor was his. So it was kind of a couple of things that clued her in that there was something fishy going on. So pay attention to the conversation, because they won't give you a name. They won't tell you names because they don't know. And if they do know, it's because they've cracked someone's public Facebook page. Again, if you're on Facebook, go check your profile, make sure it's friends only. That is the only way you can protect yourself. Other similar scams, your social security number has been used to perpetuate a crime, press 1 to speak to an officer. Border Services has intercepted a parcel containing contraband, please press 1 to speak to an officer. Your credit card may be compromised. 2 transactions, one for $400, one for $1,200. Please press 1 to speak to an operator. First of all, why are they saying press 1 to speak to an operator? Does anyone understand the way the scammers work? So scammers use what is called a robocaller. It's a computer system that automatically dials phone numbers until someone answers the phone, right? And then they have all these different recordings going up all at once. So when the guy answers the phone, when you press 1, he has no clue what scam he's got you on. So he's going to say, how can I help you? Or how may I direct your call? He wants you to go, oh yeah, well my credit card, or oh yeah, something with a parcel, something to clue in to which scam he should move forward on. I had one, I get these phone calls on my work phone all the time. My credit card was compromised. I said, really? Okay, pressed 1. And he's like, how may I direct your call? How may I help you? Or something like that. And I said, I don't know, you tell me, you called me. He hung up right away because he had no clue whatsoever. So it's very important not to give them any information if you accidentally press 1. But I would suggest highly that you do not press 1 when you get one of these calls. Very, very important not to do that. Newest credit card scam out of Toronto. They'll call you, tell you they're calling from your bank. They are going to ask you for your PIN number. Your PIN number is your personal information number. It should not be provided to anyone, including your spouse or your children. Only you should have your PIN number. That is the only thing that protects your bank account. The only thing. So never share your bank PIN number with anyone, even if they're saying they're calling from your bank and they're bank employees. The only time you will use your PIN number at a bank is when you swipe your card and you have to use your PIN number. They will not ask you for your PIN number at any time. So these scammers are asking people for their PIN number, telling them that their card has been compromised, or they're telling them their card has been compromised, asking them to put the card in an envelope and write their PIN number on it. And then they're sending a bank employee over to pick up the card so that they can destroy the card. One woman fell for it, gave them her card with her PIN number. They went shopping until they ran out of capacity to spend money on her account, Called her back and told her her husband's card was compromised. Did she know his PIN number? Oh, yes, she did. So they came back and got his card and shopped until they couldn't anymore either. Unfortunately, because they provided the PIN numbers, they will never get that money back.
Are they still married?
I don't know. So this is a scam that will eventually come to Sudbury, because the grandparent scam, people come knock at the door. That was very, very common about a year before I came here in Toronto. It was happening. So this is something that will eventually come here. That's why I'm educating on it now, so that people will be aware of it, right? What are they looking for? They will start out small, then they will increase in small amounts most of the time. They will send you to a bank or retailer with a script for potential questions that might be asked. When you go to a bank and you do a transaction that is out of your normal process, and you want to take out $5,000 for whatever reason, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. They are not trying to dig into your personal information. They are not trying to pry into your life. They are trying to determine that you may be a victim of fraud, and they're trying to protect you. That is why they will ask all kinds of questions. So please don't take it out on the teller who's asking you questions, or the retail person who's kind of questioning why you're buying a $2,000 gift card. Okay? They are just, I mean, if you can justifiably say, well, this is what I'm buying. Oh, okay. My mom wanted to buy a car a couple of years back, and she wanted to pay with her debit card. So she went to the bank and said, I want my debit card increased to this amount. And they're like, well, what for? She's like, well, I'm going to buy a car in Niagara Falls. And they're like, oh, really? Yeah, my nephew's selling me a car. That made it worse. Because it was like, your nephew? He really was. He worked at a Nissan dealership. She was going to the dealership to buy the car. But she had to really justify why she wanted her debit increased to that high. And I mean, they finally agreed to, so I took her to Niagara Falls and she went and paid for her car and we drove home. She drove it her home, I drove back my car. But they really, and this was about 10 years ago. So they were already starting to see scams and, you know, wanted to make sure that people, but now they're getting more and more, and they're aware that these things are happening, so they're trying to protect people. If they reach you on a cell phone, they'll stay on the line with you. And if they will send you to buy prepaid cards, or they'll ask you to go put money in your Bitcoin account, in your wallet of your Bitcoin account. If you don't have a Bitcoin account, you don't have a wallet, don't go to a Bitcoin machine and put money in it, okay? And of course, if they're coming to get cash, they'll tell you how to package it. What are the flags? Things that they might say to kind of make you act quickly. You have a limited time to act. Keep it a secret. Don't tell anyone. Don't speak to anyone about it. They don't want you to have time to think about it, because if you think about it or if you speak to anyone about it, you will likely go, oh, this is a scam. This isn't real. So it does happen to everyone and everyone, okay? So be careful. My husband fell for a Starlink one where they told him, hey, if you sign up right now, I can give you a really good deal for 6 months on roaming. So my husband went, oh, okay. We already had the dish. We bought it from someone. So he signed up for it. Yeah. A month later, we got a bill in the mail going, yeah, you need to pay the next month. And he's like, but I paid for 6 months. They're like, no, with us you didn't. So the scammers set up the account, but they only paid for 1 month. They kept the rest of the money. So of course we changed all the passwords and everything else on that account just to be safe. But it happens to everyone and anyone. Lotteries. You have won a ridiculous amount of money. First question you should ask yourself is, did you buy a ticket? Because if you didn't buy a ticket, you did not win it. Okay? That's the first thing you have to remember. Winners are not randomly selected from email addresses or phone numbers, and you will not be required to pay an upfront fee or taxes on a legitimate lottery. If you win the Lotto 649 $1 million, you'll get a check for $1 million. Period. You've already paid your upfront fee by buying that ticket. That's it, that's all. Straightforward, simple and easy. Scammers will use this as an absolute must. My mom is 90 years old. She's sharp as a whip. She answered the phone, which I tell her never to answer the phone, but she answered the phone. And she said, I said, Mom, once you realized it was a scam, why did you keep talking to them? She said, because then I can educate you. So she received a call from someone saying that she'd won $800,000. She's like, oh great, where do I go pick it up? They said, Vancouver. She said, well, that's a little far. He said, well, Madeline, tell you what, go and buy a Joker gift card at the Shoppers Drug Mart down the street from your house, and we will send you, once you give us the code on it, we will send you the money. She's like, okay, so what do? Do I call you back? Like, oh no, just put the phone down and I'll wait for you. She said, well, you're going to wait a long time, and hung up the phone. But it really bothered her that they called her by her first name. So, first of all, my mom has a landline. That's something you need to be understanding on this explanation. So, my mom's answering machine said, hi, you've reached Madeline, I can't come to the phone right now. Her answering machine now says, we cannot come to the phone right now, please leave a name and number and brief message. No names, we, because then there's more than one person. So please, ladies, if you live alone, go home and change your answering machine to, we can't come to the phone right now. And preferably use someone else's voice. My voice is the one on my mom's answering machine. And if you are bilingual, answer in your mother tongue first, and then in your English. That's what I did to my mom. Her answering machine is in French first, and then in English. French, they'll likely hang up because they don't know. They don't understand French, which is great. Also, how did they know there's a Shoppers Drug Mart up the street from her house? Right? So, reverse directory Canada 411.